So in this video, we're going to be looking at all the matchups of Ragnarok and going back down with a fine-tooth comb to try to come up with a way humanity could have won every single match. The goal, of course, is going to be to reach 7 wins because that's what they need to win the Ragnarok tournament and save humanity. But if I can get to the 8th, if I can get a clean sweep of 8, we'll take it. I'm going to be omitting Apollo and Leonidas from this list as their fight is not concluded yet at the time of recording this. So I don't know all the abilities they have because we don't know if they're still going to whip out something new. I don't want to include them just yet. What are the matchup changes I would make? Can I do it? Can I get humanity the victories? So round 1, the gods are going to send out Thor. I would put Qin Wang in this spot because Qin Wang is tailor-made to be taking on brute strength. Thor comes out and he just tries to hit you hard. Qin can hard counter this with his tortoise ripple and his heavenly handed defense, redirecting the attacks, redirecting this kind of damage back at Thor. I think that this is going to be huge in this kind of battle. Now, Thor is going to hit a lot harder than Hades in my estimation, also the physically strongest god based on statements, but that's why I like the matchup with Qin trying to take away this massive advantage. He also has a win con with Mjolnir being stated to be a living thing in this verse, so we know that the crux of its key will be at play here for Qin, so he can potentially try to break through Mjolnir itself, cutting down Mjolnir in a similar fashion to what he did to Desmos in round 7. So round 2 is Zeus. We know Adam was not the man for the job. Adam fought valiantly, but inevitably he is not the man to get the win on Zeus. He died long before the exchange of blows was over. His durability is also suspect and on fraud watch low key because he took a substantial amount less blows than Zeus did because obviously the whole time he was countering Zeus, landing the hits on Zeus. Then when he started having the eye issues, started overloading and the blood got in his eye, as soon as Zeus was hitting him, it was dealing massive amounts of damage, and like I said, he died long before the punches stopped being thrown, so he didn't take all that many punches to be eliminated and killed. Now a lot of that could be attributed to the burnout as well, but he was taking insane amounts of damage, which of course contributed to his death. So Adam is not the guy I'd put up against Zeus, and Zeus I think is collectively regarded as the strongest in the verse, so it's going to be very tough. The person I would slide in this position is going to be Sasuke. The reason I put Sasuke there is that my personal opinion is that Sasuke is the strongest human we've seen. Now a lot of people are going to say it's Adam. I cannot put Adam above Sasuke when Sasuke does not have a drawback to his ability with Scan. I believe Scan is a better ability than Divine Reflection, and I believe that Sasuke has fought the person most comparable to Zeus through statements and height. They call Poseidon the Zeus of the seas. Hilda had no opponent in mind for Poseidon. She couldn't even fathom the person that was going to go up against him, including the likes of Nostradamus, Leonidas, and even Qin Wang. And to juxtapose that, you have her finding out that Hades is going to be a late addition to the tournament and instantly picking Qin Wang to take him on with absolute confidence in that matchup. Poseidon has serious clout in this verse, and in my opinion, he has the most comparability to Zeus. He also has the second best speed feats with 40-day flood. He's the second most impressive god in my estimation. So Sasuke getting a win on him pretty decisively, I might add, is huge here. And especially given the nature of Zeus. Zeus is very playful, doesn't go all out at the beginning. Obviously, Sasuke's going to start out the same way he did against Poseidon. More than likely, he's going to see that he would die multiple times over. He's going to be scanning Zeus, scanning Zeus, scanning Zeus. Zeus will probably get annoyed at one point, step up to him, try to make things interesting, start punching, but he's not going to be throwing full out. He's going to get annoyed at the fact that Sasuke can react. Sasuke might even be able to kill Zeus before he even gets to Adamas. That'd be ideal. That'd be the real ideal situation where if Sasuke can scan him all the way, I think he can get it done, especially if we take the current Sasuke we have now, the one that's capable of scanning all of creation, and start him there. If we start him there at the beginning of this fight against Zeus, I think he can take this win, and I think that he can actually surpass Zeus by the time that the battle is done. And if anybody, he's the guy for the job against Zeus. Now moving on to round number 3, we have Poseidon. So we just used Sasuke, so we cannot use Sasuke again against Poseidon. Like I said, I just hyped up Poseidon. Who could potentially face Poseidon in this round? Now here's actually where I'm gonna throw in Adam. I'm gonna put Adam into this spot. The reason is because if you put Adam against the likes of Beelzebub, Shiva, even a lot of people think Adam just walks Shiva, but the problem is Adam scales to the person he's fighting and his durability is already not good. It's very suspect. So when he copies techniques like chaos or even Beelzebub's vibrations, he's going to incur massive amounts of damage that he's not used to taking. The same would apply to Tandava Karma from Shiva, where it literally burns through the user's body and can kill you. So if they got into a fight, he might burn through his own body, especially if Shiva's Dura is better. His body is built better to take the flames. because even if Adam is the one dropping the damage, it's like if Shiva can just hold out long enough, I don't like it. I think he could potentially still pull it out, but I don't like that matchup. I like this Poseidon matchup because Poseidon doesn't really have anything. It's going to be a self-deterioration technique. There's nothing that's going to be hurting Adam aside from him just having to copy Poseidon. Now the problem that could arise here is that like people are speculating like, can Adam actually copy weapons? I'm gonna headcanon here and use it for this instance and say yes with his Valun could probably turn into that weapon. We've seen Valuns like Leonidas turn into other weapons. I'm gonna headcanon and say he can turn it into the weapon of his opponent. And if that's the case, we're golden here. Because we've already seen he can contend with the likes of Zeus's speed, which is the most impressive speed feat, fist that surpassed time. So we know he's gonna be able to contend with Poseidon's speed. And Poseidon being very arrogant and very aggressive, with Adam's style of always being one step ahead, it's gonna be very difficult for Poseidon to overcome, and I think that Adam is the perfect opponent for Poseidon in this instance. I think he gets it done, especially because Poseidon goes for killing blow after killing blow after killing blow. He's gonna be replicating the same speed. He should be able to hit Poseidon, should be able to finish the job. Now moving on to round number 4, Hercules versus Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper is already a great opponent for Hercules. Obviously Hilda had this one in mind. The problem is we run into some things where we have some weaker humans that Hercules might be the right opponent for. Hercules does have some great abilities, especially with his Cerberus technique, but Jack the Ripper, who shouldn't really have that much Dura, was able to go toe-to-toe with him at the end of that fight for a bit of time. Obviously this was one-arm Hercules, but Jack did take attacks to the chin and ate them and stayed alive, stayed conscious. I'm actually gonna have to put Lubu here against Hercules. Lubu I think would do better than Raiden in this situation. Lubu was able to take and block attacks from the physically strongest guy, which was Thor, block Mjolnir a couple times. So I'm gonna go with Lubu here against Hercules. I think he gets it done. I think this is actually gonna be a fucking barn burner of a fight, but he does not have the tattoo burning through him, while Hercules does. So Hercules is gonna be fucking hurting himself. He's gonna have to keep amping his power up to contend with Lubu, and I think that Lubu outlasts him in the end and finishes the job, and that's the best matchup I think I could do there. Next one we have is Shiva, and I'm gonna put Jack the Ripper in this case. Obviously in London, I think Shiva's battle IQ is one of the lowest in the series, and I think he falls for every single one of Jack's tricks, leading to the perfect soliloquy of violence for Jack in London. I think Jack finds a way to win this, outsmarting Shiva, puts him down. Now the problems could arise if Shiva pops out Tandava Karma, but he might truthfully already be dead before he gets a chance. Even if he does pull out Tandava Karma and uses his dancing techniques, I think Jack is going to be smart enough in London to come up with a plan to where he doesn't have to get hit much, catch Shiva lacking at a certain point, where he gets a chance to land the killing blow. I think he takes damage, but gets it done. So round number 6, I'm going to put Tesla in this spot. I think Tesla handles Hajun in 0. I think he's fast. I think he's a lot smarter than Hajun. I think he's also a good opponent for 0 to kind of come back to the light against somebody like Tesla. I think Tesla would frustrate him and obviously piss him off, but Tesla would be smart enough to be able to counteract him. And then obviously when he goes into Hajun is very deadly, but Tesla should be faster than Hajun, and we saw that he was even able to avoid and take chaos. Somehow, some way he avoided it. He still took damage from it, so he was able to endure part of the hit, and he took multiple attacks from Beelzebub. But Beelzebub was also like a Durn negating fighter who was vibrating through the shield. I think Hajun has the AP to go through the suit for sure, especially with Heavenly Piercing Drill. Like he was able to go through Buddha's shield. Problem is, like, I don't know if Tesla's gonna have the speed issues. Like Buddha was kind of caught by surprise not being able to use his future sight. It was kind of like a hard counter to him. Tesla, I think, is going to be smart enough to realize what he's up against Hajun, and I think that he's going to inevitably be able to outsmart Hajun in the fight and get the win, because a big part of Beelzebub's success was that he was able to deduce how he was fighting. He saw the next step against Tesla. So I got Tesla there. Then we move on to round number 7, Hades, and this one's going to be probably the most contentious one here. I have no choice, but I have to put Raiden against Hades. Hades is a brute, Raiden's a brute. He's kind of at a disadvantage here because he doesn't have a weapon to like counteract Hades' Biden. But if we look at it optimistically, if Raiden can close the distance and he can dodge one thrust from Hades, I think he might be able to grab onto Hades' arm in a similar way to what he did to Shiva. The only difference is Shiva had 4 arms. and he was not using a weapon, he was just using his fist. Hades is gonna need his arms to control the Biden and to swing the Biden. If he can take away one of Hades' arms, I think he drastically diminishes his strength. Preferably the right arm or the dominant arm. This is big business. He might be able to start fucking Hades up. Raiden should be able to output enough force where if he gets a hold of Hades in any kind of capacity, he's going to be able to inflict a lot of fucking damage. The problem is getting past the Biden, getting past Desmos. I have confidence in Raiden's durability, but he's going to be getting cut up. So I have no choice, really. I kind of have to put Raiden here. And this might be the one where we could lose. Moving into round 8. I got Buddha taking on Beelzebub. I think Buddha is pretty smart. He's not obviously on the intellect level of Beelzebub and Tesla, I wouldn't say, but I think that he has the tools to win. Like, the biggest win con for Beelzebub is going to be Chaos, obviously. I think that the shield could keep Buddha afloat. I think that he might be able to shield his body from the attack to be able to survive it. And I don't think Beelzebub's going to be able to pop off another Chaos. He'd probably have to die to pop off another one. Beelzebub's going to be taking massive amounts of damage just to hurt Buddha. Buddha's also going to have the future sight advantage because there's going to be nobody that's a great matchup for fucking Beelzebub. Buddha is the best bet because he has the future sight. Now, if you think that Beelzebub's soul is not going to be seen by Buddha for similar reasons to why Hajun's wasn't seen by Buddha, then we run into issues. But in this case, I'm going to assume Buddha can see the future. If he can't, he might be fucked. But if he can see the future, I think he's going to be a step ahead. I think it's still going to be a tough fight. Obviously, we've seen that his weapon can be broken, and I don't think he's going to have an instance to be able to pull out the Great Nirvana Sword because he doesn't have Zero to Valun with. He doesn't have the Valun capabilities. A lot of people forget that. Like, Buddha's not really going to be able to pull out Nirvana Sword. You know, if that wasn't there, he would have lost to Hajin. But Hajin also did hard counter him. Is there a possibility I think Chaos could break his weapon? I do think there's a possibility. And if that's the case, that's a win con for Beelzebub to be able to break Buddha's staff. But if he has future sight, I think that he's the best bet in this fight. Let me know what you guys think. Did I get these right? Comment my Ragnarok record. 8-0, 7-1, 6-2, 0-8. Whatever you think, put it in the comments. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like. Make sure to subscribe. Don't miss any of my Record of Ragnarok content, including my chapter breakdowns every month. I'll see you then. Peace.
She don't do it with no hands, she a master. If they question how I get it, I got answers. Like, what she got me tripping like